Hi and welcome to this reading. Today's reading is a collective reading. I've got lots of messages coming through and I'm still trying to piece them together, and I'm hoping that when I pull some cards, I'll be able to get more clarification. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I receive messages prior to a reading, and then I will use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the messages that I am receiving. I'm also an illustrator, so all of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs. And I'm sorry if I keep pausing, but I'm deep in thought. So if you call to any of those decks, the links to them can be found in the description box. So I've done a pre-shuffle on the cards. The card that came out was meant to be, now this is a collective reading. I'm not necessarily picking up, I mean that's a love song, but I'm picking it up as whatever is happening here is meant to happen. Now, last night I had a dream. My grandfather was in my dream and he had a piece of wool. Now, my grandfather was a farmer. His family were of German heritage and they had come to Australia from Germany either in the late 1700s or early 1800s. But essentially the whole family unit came here, and they were so far removed from their roots in Germany, and obviously at that particular time there was no way to communicate unless you sent a letter, which probably took 6-12 months to get back to Germany. And then if somebody was to respond, the same would apply. But he was a sheep and a wheat farmer. The whole family, that was what they did. Predominantly a sheep farmer. Can you hear that bird? My grandfather was obsessed with birds. I can't believe that bird. I've never heard that bird before. So in this dream, this image of my grandfather, and he was holding this little tuft of wool. He was known within the industry as a exceptional sheep farmer. The little tuft of wool, which actually got buried with him, was what is known as first class wool. It's a very, very premium grade of wool, which he would then go on to sell after the war to some of the major fashion houses in Europe because of its exceptional quality. He won award after award after award. But as I said, he had German heritage. And so what was coming through when that dream came through, I was thinking of a story that I remember being told about when World War II happened, and anybody with German heritage in Australia, they were placed in prisoner of war camps, essentially until everything got sorted and they worked out who was, the message that's coming through. Now, this particular family, this German family, my grandparent, my grandfather and his family had left Germany 100 years, probably more, before the war, to the point where the German that they spoke was no longer spoken in Germany. And the German that my father speaks and tried to speak when he returned to Germany, and he's been back a couple of times, they don't understand. It's so old. The energy I'm picking up of is a guilty by association energy. Something that you are aligned to, and it could be cultural, it could be religious, it could be somebody in your family, it could be political. You've been wrapped up into somebody else's dialogue about a situation purely because you have an association to it. Now, this song came out, meant to be. Why did that song come out? Because whatever this is, it was meant to happen. Now I fast forward and again, more stories come through. I believe because he had such a prolific career in agriculture. Can you see that light just went? During the war, he joined the military police, and he was stationed at a little town at the top of Australia, which is where he met my grandmother. But his family was always angry that he didn't get to see active service, meaning he didn't actually get to go into the conflict. And again, it goes back to that meant to be. There's something here about, and I don't know whether he didn't get to see active service because of his cultural background, I'm not sure, or whether it's something that is more divine in nature. Had he gone overseas, he potentially may not have come back. And then I wouldn't be here, and my kids wouldn't be here. There is a big brown and white butterfly flying in my garden. Keeps flying backwards and forwards past the window. Death and rebirth. There's a higher purpose to whatever is happening, to whatever you have been attached to, whatever external judgment has been placed on you because of your association with something that is deemed, I want to say unlawful, but I think it's somebody's perception of right and wrong. Now, when I was doing my pre-shuffle, as I said, that card came out. This is my offline deck. I'm going to pull some energy. I've got the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. The Wheel of Fortune is something destined. Now the wheel spins forwards, but it also spins backwards. Something holding you back. Four of Cups is disappointment. The Four of Cups is the moon in Cancer. The disappointment that my grandfather had at not being able to see active service. But as I said, if he had of, he wouldn't have met and married my grandmother, and our whole family lineage wouldn't be here. What have we got? Page of Wands underneath. Page of Wands is Saturn and Sagittarius. And the Ten of Pentacles, okay. And the Death card. So what I've got here is Fortune's wheel. Something's happening where you have been guilty by association. Something that you... something that's brought you disappointment. Perhaps with the Page of Pentacles there, that's a little explorer. Perhaps not allowed you to do something that you were meant to do. Perhaps it's cost you money. But you've been held back, meant to be, because there's a higher purpose. There's a higher purpose. Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, look at that. There's a higher purpose in what's happening, in whatever this guilty by association is. Now, the Nine of Pentacles for me is Venus in Virgo. It is my Mother Mary card, which is hilarious because I'm going to run through the songs that I got. I do a random shuffle. So I pull messages, obviously, from cards, but I pull them from dreams that I have, and I also get messages through music. So if I'm trying to pull energy in to get further clarification on a reading, I will put my songs on random shuffle, and I'll just run through, 5, 6, maybe up to 10 songs. And it's a great intuitive thing to do. And if you quickly skim through your songs, which is what I do, you can see a story playing out. Now, it might be the name of the song. It could be the lyrics of the song. It might be the name of the artist. It could be the image or the album cover of a song. The songs that I got, and first of all, I put my music on Gregorian chants. If you want to clear energy, Gregorian chants is a great way. It's the monks of the Abbey of Notre Dame. So I got Tay Joseph, which is a song about Joseph, as in Mary and Joseph. I got Angelus, which is a song about Angel Gabriel, divine communication, a message, and birds. And as I said, birds are messengers. I got that beautiful bird that I've never heard before. And then I got Final Angelus Bells. Now that's a song about Angel Gabriel and his communication with Mary. The Nine of Pentacles in my deck is my Mother Mary card. It is Venus in Virgo. Venus is the divine feminine. The ultimate divine feminine is Mary. And Virgo comes from the same root words as virgin. So the Virgin Mary, which ties in beautifully with the songs that I got. Now, I got Tay Joseph Angelus and Final Angelus Bells. When Joseph and Mary were betrothed, they were betrothed for almost a year. And I think it was custom culture at the time. They were betrothed for almost a year before they physically got married. So before an actual wedding ceremony occurred, and before almost an engagement period really, and before they had any physical connection, before they consummated the marriage. Now in that 12-month period, Mary actually fell pregnant, and obviously it was an immaculate conception. And in that period, Joseph found out, and he had the choice of breaking the betrothment. He had a dream where Gabriel came to him and explained to him what had happened and why he needed to stay married to Mary. And the reasoning as to why she had gotten pregnant. There's something in here about, as I said, there's a higher power. I also, when I was doing my pre-shuffle, in my angel cards, Metatron was trying to come out. Metatron is the angel that writes in the book of life. Big events in your life that have spiritual meaning that you are meant to experience. Was also picking up on bee energy. Now, my grandfather, I think the thing that he loved more than birds was bees. As a farmer, he believed that bees were the ultimate. Essentially, the world couldn't exist without bees. So we've got a bit of a hive mentality here. I'm going to go through the songs that I got on my random shuffle. And my ears are ringing. If Life is So Short by the Moffats. Now that's about love. It's about loving someone for who they are. I got Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, which is actually, if you think of bees, that's the bee movie. Swing Around the Sun by Paul Kelly. Potentially something that's, now Swing Around the Sun is a year. Something that you have been attached to, guilty by association, that has kind of nothing to do with you, but you've been attached to, and maybe you can't shake it. Maybe it's been going on for more than a year. I got Touch by Noiseworks. That's about connection. Somebody that you're connected to, guilty by association. Then I got American Idiot by Green Day. Now that is about, it's a protest song about the media. Specifically about, and as I said before, I was picking up on things that happened to my grandfather. So things that are happening to you maybe on a personal level, but whatever happens on a personal level also happens collectively on a global level. That song, American Idiot, is a protest song about the media. It is a protest song about how during the Iraq War, they put journalists in tanks and they would give them airtime doing a play-by-play at the destruction that was happening in Iraq. And if you're watching TV, you would go from violent footage that was intercut with advertisements. Perhaps you have been associated, guilty by association. Perhaps you have been barreled into whatever this is because it benefits somebody else financially. I don't know what that means. But that's what's coming through from that song. Where Do the Children Play? Cat Stevens, Yusuf. That song is about ecology. If you tear everything down. To me, that song is just about, what are we doing here as human beings? How are we judging other people? And then I got 1917 by Thomas Newman and Lost by Maroon 5. It's almost like this collective energy that we've been so consumed that we judge people unfairly. They're guilty by association. And I think, if we're looking at it on a global scale, you think of all the innocent Palestinian people who have lost their lives, guilty by association. And then on the flip side, potentially maybe Jewish people who are against the war. And I know there's a huge movement, Jewish people for peace, who, because they're Jewish, are potentially barreled into what's going on. It's collective energy where people aren't looking, that first song, If Life Is So Short, it's about love. People aren't looking at other people on a human level. They're judging them on a collective level. You're either this or that. You're on this side or you're on that side. But it's happening because it's meant to happen. There's a higher purpose to it, potentially a collective lesson that we're meant to learn on a grander scale. But if it's happening to you, you may not have gotten the reasoning yet. If I go back to those songs, Tay Joseph and Final Angela Spells, they're both about Gabriel. Joseph could have made a judgment call and left Mary, but he got some spiritual wisdom as to why he was meant to not judge a situation. Wheel of Fortune, Four of Cups, Page of Wands, Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, spiritual transformation, spiritual freedom. See, that card wanted to come out. It's Judgment. That's a Judgment card. How funny is that? It was literally just sitting there like that. And the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom, which is Mother Mary. Right, I'm going to pop her there. It may not feel like it at the moment. If judgment has come to you because of something that really has got nothing to do with you. But Fortune's wheel is going to spin. Queen of Swords. That is Uranus and Aquarius. I just wanted to pop out. Uranus is our surprises. Aquarius is the rebel. Uranus and Aquarius. Okay, I'm going to get some cards. Let's see where we go. Now, you may be seeing bees. As I said to you, bees are huge. But it's that hive mentality of, maybe it's the media or a group of people around you. Everybody's doing the same thing. Bees are messages, luck, positive energy, and guidance. And bees are huge. I remember when my grandfather was buried, and we went to this old cemetery to visit. My father at his funeral wore this little bee pin on his collar. And I remember when after the funeral, we went to visit an old German cemetery that essentially just had relatives, because the whole town was uncles, aunts, little tiny town. And there were grandfathers and great-grandfathers, all these people buried in this little tiny cemetery all together. And we'd gone to see my great-grandfather's grave, and when we hopped back in the car, a bee actually flew into the car. Something about bees here, potentially something in the bee movie, message in the bee movie. Let's find out. Five of Cups. So that is some sort of heartbreak. Something that you've missed out on because you've been barreled into this guilt by association energy. The Five of Cups is Mars in Scorpio. The King of Swords, now that is Uranus in Libra. That's somebody else's unbalanced truth in a situation. Somebody making a judgment on you because of your connection to something else. Uranus in Libra. Uranus, as I said, that's surprises. Uranus is earthquakes. Potentially something coming forward to dispel this untruth, to bring balance back by revealing a truth. Like I said, there was no connection between a grandparent and his family with anything that was happening in Europe, because they actually didn't speak a connecting language. And if you think of Europe in comparison to Australia, I mean, God, it takes 26 hours on a plane to get from here to London. Like, Page of Cups, maybe an apology. Page of Cups is the moon in Pisces. The pages are also innocent. Wrongly accused. Guilty by association. And the Queen of Wands. What I think about the Queen of Wands, she is fiery, independent. She does her own thing. Highly attractive. And what's coming to mind is a week after October 7th. Now, I'm Catholic, but my daughter is Muslim. And we had to attend a dance practice, which is held at one of the local parklands. And it was a week after October 7th. And in the park, there was a big protest march that was being put on by... It wasn't a protest march, actually. It was a gathering of the Jewish community in the city where I live, are coming together almost because of what had happened. Now, my daughter, who's in her 20s, was wearing hijab, and she is the sweetest, most innocent person. And she's not somebody to start a fight or anything like that at all. And in fact, her first degree was in anthropology. So the study of cultures, very well versed in religions. Her whole life revolves around, and including, she's doing a master's at the moment, her whole life revolves around learning other people's cultures, including linguistically. I mean, she can read almost, I think, over 10 different, she speaks multiple languages, but she can read multiple languages, including Hebrew. And we had to enter and exit the park through a gate where this Jewish rally was also using. And the security, as we walked in and out, and the looks that they gave her, guilty by association. It was horrendous. I've never experienced anything like that. It was kind of scary. But as I said, she wouldn't hurt a fly. She would have an intellectual debate with you, but she wouldn't. It's that real hive mindset. There's an innocence about you and your interaction. A Queen of Wands is somebody just doing their own thing, not bothering anybody else, but you've been pulled into whatever conflict this is, and potentially being pulled into it by a higher power, but you're going to be getting some sort of information as to the reason. Wow, some sort of information as to the reason behind it. The sun. That's enlightenment. That's a revelation. The sun. Here comes the sun. That movie. A little magpie. Actually, I think it's Pee-wee. What's the difference between a magpie and a Pee-wee? He's just walking around. It's flown in front and is walking around. There's a message in that, black and white. This has never happened in a reading. There's literally two birds, literally probably 6 feet away from me. Two black and white. I don't know whether they're magpies or peewees. I'll find the spiritual meaning, but black and white is guilty by association. No, they're peewees because there's a big magpie trying to attack them. They look the same, but they're different. It's not, whatever this is, it's not black and white. But somebody's looking at it from, you're either this or that, and there's nothing in between. There's no grey. And you're just trying to innocently exist, and you've been roped into it. But a truth, the sun, A truth is being revealed. Uranus in Libra. Uranus, surprising information coming to light to balance things out. How interesting is that? Okay, let's have a look at this Five of Cups. Let's have a look at this disappointment. What have you not been able to do because of this guilty by association? Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight, but the Knight of Pentacles builds abundance. So perhaps it has, we did have that Wheel of Fortune here, that wheel spinning backwards. Perhaps it has not allowed you, it's kind of had a hold on you, which is the disappointment underneath. It's held you back from being able to do something that you wanted to do. The Knight of Pentacles is Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn is karma, your karmic teacher, and Capricorn is building wealth. King of Swords. Let's find out about this truth that's going to bring some balance. Five of Cups. The Wheel of Fortune. If this is somebody that has trapped you, pulled you into this, and I was thinking about this beforehand. So, if you have been pulled into somebody else's mess because of a guilty by association, some people's defense to things that are happening to them is to hold on tight to anybody around them because they don't want to be seen, almost the, oh, well, there was a group of us that did it. They're actually benefiting from you being attached to this drama. And I did say that before. American Idiot. A play-by-play on the Iraq War, violent footage, intercut with ads. Somebody's benefiting from your association with this because it means that they're not taking the full heat. My question was, tell me about this King of Swords. Tell me about the balancing out when this truth comes out, the Sun. Currently, you're the one in the Five of Cups. You've missed out on potentially moving forward, maybe in a financial situation, because you are being tied to whatever this is. My question was, what will happen when this truth comes out? This person, whoever this person is, you're going to get released because we had the Wheel of Fortune, what's hidden, and they're going to get the Five of Cups. They're going to get the disappointment because they weren't meant to hold you. Perhaps this is a lesson for you in recognizing that this person has their own agenda, and the only way that you could be shown that was by experiencing this situation. Page of Cups. So this is an innocence. As I said, it can also be an apology. Six of Cups. Six of Cups is the Sun in Scorpio. It's a release of this truth. This truth illuminates your innocence. And so you get, and perhaps, the Six of Cups is something from your past. This could be a legal situation. Something from your past. We've had lots of Libra. Libra is legal. Libra is justice. Something from your past releases you and in some ways proves your innocence. Queen of Wands. Page of Pentacles. Page, innocence. And on the bottom, the Six of Wands. That's victory after a long battle. The Six of Wands is Jupiter in Leo. Now, if you have a look at these cards, the way I drew them, In this particular deck, her father is the devil energy. Her father has a hold over her because of what he wants, because of his perception. And it continues as she grows. Page of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. You can see in this card, she's young, she's innocent. This is where through this guilt by association, it's been deemed that you are more invested in this situation when the actual reality is you've got nothing to do with it. Six of Wands. This truth that's coming out. Okay, let's get 10 of Cups on the bottom. That's Mars in Pisces. It's too many cards. The World. The World is an end of a karmic cycle for you. Let's see. I just want... Oh my goodness, why are these cards doing this? The Emperor. Taking charge, Aries energy. The Sun. Seven of Swords, deception. It's almost a narrow-mindedness, potentially by people in Emperor energy who think they know better, who don't want to listen. Emperor and the Empress coming out upside down. The Empress is Venus and it's come out again. Look at this. These cards wanted to come out. So that tried to come out before. That's the Hermit. That's Virgo energy. When I was talking before about Joseph getting that message about the spiritual enlightenment about what this situation meant and why he had to play a role in it, why he had to stay with Mary. That's Virgo energy. Venus in Virgo is my Mother Mary card. The World, a karmic lesson. Getting information as to why you had to stay in it. And the Four of Swords, the World is Saturn. So that's literally the end of a cycle. A new beginning for you. After a deception, an enlightenment about a deception that's kept you from being able to, with the Knight of Pentacles there, which is somebody who is building, slowly building, but building, and you've not been able to do it. The Empress is upside down. You can't nurture something because you've been pulled into whatever scenario this is. Four of Swords is the spiritual enlightenment that you get after heartbreak. And it's that enlightenment that maybe there is a bigger purpose to why you have been pulled into this mess. 10 of Pentacles on the bottom. A bigger purpose, and that wanted to come out too. That's the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a contract that you have with the man upstairs. It's a soul contract that you have with the man upstairs and somebody else within your soul family. So for example, if my grandfather had have gone away to war, he wouldn't have met my grandmother. Now, he was in the military police and he was stationed in a little city, little town actually, in the north of Australia. And she was the daughter of the local police sergeant. They wouldn't have met. There's something, something here. Two of Cups. It's also a soul contract that you have with whoever you're connected with, be it indirectly or directly related to this situation. And the 10 of Pentacles, which is money. adds foundation. I go back to that song, American Idiot, a protest song about the media, play-by-play, Iraq War. I'm just reading my notes. Violent footage intercut with ads. Somebody's using your association with this to bolster their profile, to bolster finance. I don't know what this is. I think of the security guard that day. He probably looked really, really big and tough to the people around him by giving the death stare to my daughter. It probably made him feel powerful. Somebody feels powerful. They're feeding off the power of this. And as I said before, perhaps it's because you're meant to be illuminated to their potential ulterior motives, maybe a deception. Their ulterior motives. They're unbalanced. And maybe you'd put a lot of time and effort maybe into this, frustrated because it wasn't growing, but not realizing that this whatever this is karmic, and you need to get the spiritual enlightenment of it in order to be released from it. You couldn't be released until you got the spiritual enlightenment from it, until you got the lesson from it, the world. Where do we have that? Spiritual enlightenment. You were held in a holding pattern. A spiritual timeout until you recognize why you're being held there. Let's get, this is my Divine Messages Oracle. Let's get Compass. Part of the journey that you were meant to be on. Part of your spiritual journey. Overthinking, hidden in plain sight. Perhaps you're trying to work out what's going on here. Maybe this reading gives you some answers. As I said, if you're looking to, answers will come to you, but if you're looking for answers, meditation is great. As I said, I use songs. Put your songs on random shuffle. Set the intention, set a question, and then wait for messages to come through. It could be, and I often find this, if a song is very obscure and you're going through potentially some sort of discrimination or legal, type that song in. Especially if you're hearing a song on repeat, type that song in and type it into Google and put in discrimination legal. And you might get a backstory of something that happened in and around that song, which might give you clues as to what's going on here, or give you confirmation of things that you were already intuitively picking up on. Partnership, some sort of, contract in your life that this was meant to play out. Meant to play out so that you could spiritually, emotionally walk away from it once you get that enlightenment. Falling in love with your authentic self is that spiritual recognition of a higher purpose to something. As I said, Joseph could have walked away, but he didn't, because he got spiritual information as to why he was meant to be there. Good health, physical, mental, and spiritual. Frustration here. Frustration, the Empress upside down, not being able to move forward, but you can't move forward, or you've been kept in a holding pattern until you get that enlightenment. Now, the bee movie, he was in a legal battle with the humans because he believed that bees were he wanted them to be paid fairly for their work. Well, he wanted them to be paid for their work. But the moral of that movie is that when the bees went on strike, The whole world fell apart because nothing was being pollinated. All the flowers lost their colour. He learnt a spiritual lesson as to the value of bees. There's something in that bee movie and something in being attached to whatever this situation is that's meant to reveal overthinking hidden in plain sight. As I said, Barry B. Benson was fixated on winning that case, but he missed the spiritual meaning of it. Hidden in plain sight, it's there under the surface. There's a higher calling. And you are protected. Why are you protected? And I say this in every reading. If you are on a spiritual journey, we are meant to grow and evolve. We are meant to fall in love with our authentic self. We are meant to go through these karmic lessons in order to elevate. And if you are doing that, you are protected. Okay, let's have a look at what angel is walking with you. A wisdom and philosophy. Number 62 adds up to an 8. This year is the number 8. 66, neurological disorders. Now, when that card comes out, Manikel, it's a card for epilepsy. Something in this situation, and there's a book. And when that card comes out, I always reference this book. There's a book called When the Body Says No. And it is about stress and trauma on your body because of a situation. It's a book that's written by a Canadian doctor called Gabor Mate, who ironically documented trauma and the effect of trauma on women and children. Now, he's Jewish, on Palestinian women and children in Israeli prisons. And basically what happens, your body takes on trauma, takes on, we had the 5 of Cups there, disappointment. And if you can't treat that trauma, if it goes left unhealed, it manifests in ways that come out through physical medical presentations. So for example, those women and children constantly in situations where it's, they obviously got PTSD, that flight or fight, and then their bodies, specifically in autoimmune disorders, it will manifest out on the exterior when the body says no. You've potentially, now I'm not a medical professional, but you're potentially dealing with some unhealed trauma in this situation that's maybe manifesting in neurological symptoms. And I'm going to give you an example. Somebody close to me has neurological condition, a complex neurological condition, and for years was seeing auras and losing sensation in limbs, so arms, legs, fingers. And we recently discovered it's called a non-migraine migraine. So it's a migraine that you have, and if you get a normal migraine, that affects your blood vessels, and so you get this whopping headache, and most people need to go and find a dark place and switch off all the noise and everything like that. A migraine happens at the back of your head, but it relates to, the back of your head relates to your vision. In this particular example, this non-migraine migraine seeps further into, deeper inside your brain. So instead of happening on a blood vessel level, it goes further in and affects neurologically. So you get this numbness. So things that potentially are happening to you, and just take this as it resonates, that card comes out for a reason. Potentially the stress that you are wearing in this situation is actually manifesting into physical symptoms that you may not be aware are associated with some sort of trauma that you are experiencing. That song, Swing Around the Sun, that's 12 months to swing around the sun. Potentially something that you have been experiencing. We did have the Knight of Pentacles there, long term. Something's been going on a long time. partnership, something that you're stuck in. If you have any concerns at all about any weird random symptoms that you're getting, go and see a doctor. That card comes out for a reason. Wow. Michael, that is Archangel Michael's sword of truth. Perseverance, adversity, conflict, and success. You've been persevering in this situation for a very long time. Adversity, conflict, post-traumatic stress disorder. And you may not even be, maybe you're a warrior. You may not even be aware of it. Good health, physical, mental, and spiritual. Perhaps you're going through a spiritual awakening through this process. Archangel Michael, that's the sword of truth. A truth is being revealed. $61, Humabel, confidence. 61, 62, 66, something here about sixes. 7, 8. Oh, and I knew he was going to come out, Metatron, the celestial scribe. Now, as I said, Metatron wanted to show itself. That card wanted to show itself. Number 10, good health helps with anger and rage. Metatron wanted to show itself when I was doing my pre-shuffle. So that's just beautiful. You are protected and you are being guided, because whatever is happening to you, whatever you have been attached to, unfairly attached to, that's causing frustration and distress, is part of a karmic lesson that you are on and has a hidden meaning and has a higher purpose to it. Okay, let's get you a moon oracle. Now, when I was doing the pre-shuffle, this card, that card is light worker. That's part of my 888 activation deck. On the back in Arabic, angel of light, angel of freedom. A light worker is somebody who sees the light in the darkness. Maybe you are meant to experience this so that you can be an example to other people of why it's important not to prejudge somebody or prejudge a situation or automatically align people together. As I said in the park that day, my daughter was wearing a hijab. Does it mean that she had any connection with what happened? Absolutely not. But she was prejudged. You've been prejudged. Guilty by association. Joseph, I would imagine, prejudged Mary. She came and she was pregnant. He probably assumed that she had been with another man. And then he got that revelation as to the higher meaning of it. Okay, a moon oracle. Let's see what comes out. Join the adventure, cardinal moon, blaze those trails like a boss. Full moon in Aries, it's time to juggle spirituality and practicality like a cosmic circus act. Now, that is about, blaze those trails like a boss, that is about taking control of the spiritual meaning of why you are in this situation. The spiritual enlightenment, the Virgo card here, the Hermit, the spiritual enlightenment that you get. Now, the Ten of Pentacles, I've got the Sun here, the spiritual enlightenment, the Ten of Pentacles. Many readings that I've done in the last couple of months about this huge change that the collective is going through, this huge spiritual awakening that we are going through. In January next year, for 18 months, the North Node goes into Pisces. Pisces is spirituality. This huge change that we are going through, where the illusion underneath, the illusion is being pulled down. That's the Magician card. That real wealth is financial. We are going into this massive collective phase where people will be, Moon and Libra, at a crossroads, because they will be making the jump from thinking and believing that value is in financial means, and through spiritual awakening, actually getting, cutting through the bull. That the real value of wealth is in spirituality. Interesting. I'm going to get one more. New moon in Scorpio, time to tackle those fears head on. So Scorpio is death and rebirth. As I said, I saw that big butterfly. And on the bottom, new moon in Taurus, time to turn dreams into an epic blueprint. So it's a new beginning for you once this, once either a truth is revealed about your innocence, or in conjunction with the realization internally for you that there's a bigger meaning to whatever is going on here. Let's get you a Nodes of Destiny card. Currently the North Node is in, the North Node is in Aries, which is self. The axis of Aries North Node is Libra, which is where the South Node is. The South Node is others, what you are releasing. Potentially this soul contract with whoever has barreled you into whatever this situation is. Can you tell me any more? Okay, North Node in the 12th house. If your North Node is chilling in the 12th house, keep in mind that even if you're gunning for perfection, nobody's got it all figured out. To level up, ditch the nitpicking and take a leap of faith by tuning into your gut feelings and trusting the cosmic flow. So tuning into your gut feelings is tuning into your spiritual guidance. As I said, we've had that spiritual awakening, this information coming through to you about the biggest spiritual meaning of whatever it is this situation is. The 12th house, however, is the house of prisoners. It's also Pisces, which is spirituality, but the 12th house is whatever you, and in this scenario, it's this situation, whatever you've been trapped in because you have had this guilt by association. And if you've got 12th house placements, have a look at what planets are in there. As I said, it is the house of imprisonment, things that are keeping you bound. And part of, especially if you've got your North Node, part of a North Node 12th house placement, it's a freedom. How to release yourself from what you're being bound into. Okay, I'm going to get a song. Now, there may not be... Let's see what. That's How You'll Know, Amy Adams. And Save the Best for Last. So that to me is about this truth coming out. And look, in that song, something needed to be revealed. I'm not taking these as love songs. I mean, if this pertains to a love scenario, then please take those messages that way. But I'm interpreting them as That's How You Know, Amy Adams, is about communication. Save the best for last. Communication that comes in after a long time. And we were never really friends. Bruno Major. For me, that's about, what's under there? I just called to say I love you. That's about whoever you are attached to, and then whatever third party potentially is attached to that, that's making some sort of that's feeding off the energy of your association with it. Potentially somebody who is trying to keep you stuck because it benefits them. We were never really friends. This person isn't your friend. And whatever they're saying to you to keep you Isn't this terrible that people are treating us like this? When it has more to do with them and absolutely nothing to do with you. They're trying to keep you bound in this situation so it takes the heat off them. I just called to say I love you. Brown nosing is what I heard. Now, I don't want to get... No, I don't want to get those. They're love messages. I don't want love stuff to come out because it's not that type of reading. And it just confuses things. Okay, let's have a look. Scrabble tiles. Letters, numbers on each tile. I'll call out what comes out. Could be your first, middle, last initial or that of somebody that you are dealing with. Okay, I'm just getting a few. Oh, we've got an A and a 1. A K and a 5. A T and a 1. An S and a 1. A G and a 2. Time to go. An O and a 1. A Z and a 10. A C and a 3. A V and a 4. A B and a 3. An E and a 1. And an F. E, F, G. VB, that's an Australian beer. Maybe this has to do with something that's happened in relation to when you're out drinking, or Wizard of Oz, that's an illusion. Interesting. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave this reading. Thank you so much for joining me. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I do post frequently, so make sure you pop the notification bell on. If you are interested in any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. As I said, thanks for joining me. I wish you all the best in this situation, and I will see you again in another reading.